All right, we are live today. We're going to talk about how to do Amazon FBA step by step from the very beginning. So we're going to try to lay it all out, but we got Ecco, Flips, and Joji here. Good to see you guys. So both of you guys have been selling for a couple years, haven't you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Joji, you've been going since like 2016, right?
2016, like actually, yeah, 20, it'd be like, yeah, early 2016. Yeah.
We got Kevin in the chat. Good to see you. Good to see you. Kevin is not a beginner at Amazon. He knows how to get started. But basically I'm gonna try to lead everyone through how to actually get started on Amazon. So first thing, you obviously need an account. You have to sign up for Amazon seller account. There's a couple things that go into this. Number one, you probably want to get started right away because it does take several weeks to actually get you up and going. Back in the day, they kind of just asked for your name and like your bank account. And now it's like, it's a little bit more complicated. They're going to probably want to call you, do a little interview with you. And that's completely normal. And it takes a couple weeks to get up and rolling. Cody, do you have any other tips about this? I mean,
Yeah, so like when I first made my accounts back in 2017, so the process was a bit different, but like yeah, like you just even if you're not planning on like selling on Amazon, I think everybody should try to make an Amazon account because the thing is, it's going to take a while and it's better to like it doesn't cost you anything to have it unless you're paying for the $40 a month plan. Yeah, right here. It doesn't cost anything. There's a free plan, so you could literally set up the account and do nothing with it. And when you want to start doing Amazon, you'll have the ability to later. So that's what I tell people too is like, just make the account. Like you don't have to do anything right away. Just make the account. And then when you feel like, starting to get into it, do that now because who knows, some stuff could happen in your life and you're like, oh, I need to start making money. You already have the Amazon account. Bam, you watch Joji, you watch me and Seth, and you're set. You're gonna start making some money on Amazon.
For sure.
Exactly. And I would say that I wish I had started with using Keepa earlier. So I think using Keepa is probably the best way to validate that you're making good purchases. So this is Keepa. And I'll kind of show you what the site looks like. And this is the website here, Keepa. The free version is okay, but the paid version is really what you're going to want to need because basically it shows you that stuff is actually selling and what it's actually selling for. The free version doesn't actually show stuff like it doesn't show the sales velocity. And so in my brain, it's actually a little bit useless. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, just to go back quickly to the starting, so it's going to be super daunting because you've never sold on Amazon. Really, all you need is a couple pieces of information. You need your social security number. You're also going to need a bank account. So hopefully you have a bank account so that you can get paid money. Man, you're also going to have to maybe upload like an image of your driver's license.
Yeah.
And what seems super daunting is that, like you said, there's an interview process. I literally did this with my mom, like 6 months ago. It's like the simplest interview ever. Like you just meet with some random person. They go, take your driver's license, show it to the camera, like spin it around, make sure that it's not a piece of paper, like try to tear it. Like it's pretty hilarious. And it's literally like a minute 30 process. It's like the quickest interview. Like my mom got all dressed up because she was like all nervous. I'm like, Mom, this is not a big deal at all. The other thing is that they're going to ask you a whole bunch of questions like, what is it that you intend to sell? How much volume do you like? None of that stuff really matters because every Amazon seller, when they started, they have no idea what they're probably going to end up selling. So literally just fill the stuff in, just take action, just get started. It's not too hard. Yeah.
We're going to go and take a look at the chat real quick. We got Christiana, let's go. We got Josiah, boys. We got Keepa.
No.
I need to stop doing that. We got Michelle.
The nightmares.
The nightmares continue. The nightmares continue. Hey guys, just restarting after retirement. I'm going crazy looking for a repricer, lister combo. Is there one? What are good start third-party softwares to use? I have Scout IQ and Seller Amp so far. So I'm assuming you're doing books, Michelle. So I use Inventory Lab as my lister and bookkeeper, and then I use Be Cool as my repricer. I don't know. Do you guys know if there's a repricer lister combo? Is there?
Yeah, there's
Um,
Acceler list you can list. They also have a repricer. I don't use Acceler list as repricer. I've never even
Mm.
tried it, so I couldn't say anything about that. I know that there's got to be at least one other out there that I can't think of right now. But I also use Be Cool for my repricing, and I use Acceler list for listing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Accelerus is good for books.
I didn't really like Acceleros too much. I just like, for me, I'm sure things have changed since like 2017, but I did a little bit of books in 2017, and it was just like, it just had a bunch of errors, and then the support was pretty bad. So I just use Inventory Lab. I love Inventory Lab. I think it's better overall.
It's cool because it has an ability to list like quite well, and it also integrates your bookkeeping. So if you just use Inventory Lab from the start, you're going to have all your buy costs in there, and it's synced with your Amazon sales. And so you'll get the nice little breakdown of like, I sold 20K in sales in October or blah, blah, blah. And then it'll
Yeah.
show you your profit with your cost of goods with your fees. So that's really nice. But Accelerlist is a good lister as well.
Yeah.
We got Rice Flip in. Okay, I can't talk. Rice Flips in the chat. He was the one messing with us in the IP alert thing. Yes, books.
Yeah.
Reprice It is another book repricer. I honestly didn't like it, but some people like it. We got Josiah saying scan lister for books, one-time purchase price. Oh, interesting.
Ooh.
Does that reprice too? That would be very interesting if it repriced. Inventory Lab does both listing and bookkeeping. It does not do listing and repricing, unfortunately. Yeah. Yeah, so like Joji was saying, you can get overhyped for that interview, and they basically just want to like verify that you are who you are. You're not like reopening an account because you got banned earlier, basically.
Mm-hmm. Going back to Keepa though, yeah, I'd say Keepa's the first thing that you need. I'd say, like you said, the free version doesn't show you sales rank, and sales rank is what you need to be able to see to figure out if items are actually selling and also how frequently they're selling. And so the reason why you should get Keepa is not honestly to figure out what to buy, it's to figure out what not to buy, because when you're out there and you're seeing all these products, you're like, oh my God, this thing's $100. But then if you don't know that it's never sold ever, then you might just buy it. And so I think Keepa is helpful in that it's going to make you not lose a lot of money, if that makes sense.
Yes. Yeah, that's a great point, Joji. Like doing Amazon without Keepa, like I've seen people that have some success doing it, but you're basically just going in blind. Like you don't know how much to buy, you don't know if it actually sells without the Keepa. So out of everything, I think somebody's like a complete beginner, you should buy the I believe it's the professional plan of Amazon, where you're paying $40 a month.
Yeah.
And yeah, Seth can show it. Where you're paying $40 a month, so you're buy box eligible, because you need to get the buy box to really get sales on Amazon. If you can't get the buy box, then you're not really going to get sales. And then in my opinion, it's not an option. You have to pay for Keepa, the $20 a month, because like what Joji said, you're going to lose money by not having it, because you're going to be making terrible buying decisions. So you have to have Keepa. And then everything else, like the accounting, you could do in Excel. It's really rough. I highly suggest doing Inventory Lab, but you could just do it all in Excel if you really wanted to.
Maybe just start with Keepa and the professional plan, and just keep it very simple, and just do that at the start until you get your first couple sales, because it's kind of daunting paying like $60 a month when you haven't even sold anything yet. Like,
yeah.
On the other hand, this is a business, and you do have to spend money in order to make money. And this is not very high of a cost when it comes to businesses. So there is that.
Yeah, just the other analogy I'd make with Keepa is, I know there's a lot of eBay sellers that want to transition to Amazon. imagine Keepa as like a much better way of looking at sold comps. So just imagine if you're an eBay seller and you didn't have access to sold comps and you just went out into the
Yeah.
world
Yep.
and were like, oh, that looks like that's worth money. Let me just list it on eBay. But there's no like you had no way to access to see, we had no access to sold comps. So that's basically the analogy. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's a great analogy. Like, Kiva's everything. You need it.
So Keepa, when you're at the start and you've never like looked at a Keepa graph, learned how to use a Keepa graph, it looks very intimidating. Like there's all these lines, there's going up and down, all these different colors, all these different little like things going on here. Let's make it extremely simple and kind of break down the very important things to look at and kind of minimize everything else. So let's just uncheck a bunch of stuff here. I guess for a bookseller, we'll look at used as well. So let's just get all this stuff out of here. All right. Very simple. There's nothing here. Clean. All right. Probably.
Yeah. You can go for it. Sorry.
Go ahead, Joji.
No. I was like, this is basically how useful Keepa is without this.
Yeah, exactly. So the very basic thing that we care about here is the thing that you have to pay for, unfortunately. And we don't make any money off like talking about Keepa. They have no affiliate program.
Yeah.
So these green lines basically tell you what the sales rank is, and the sales rank basically gives you a little bit of a picture of how fast an item is selling in its category. So at a very basic level, there's more to it than this, but this is good enough. When the line goes down like this, there's a sale, or at least one sale at that point. So we can know that like at this point, an item sold, at this point, an item sold, at this point, an item sold. And so when we combine that with the buy box here, and we see that an item sold when it was $286 or $160, somebody here, either a new price at this pink line or a used price at this line, got a sale at this point or at this point. So that's the main thing that we're using for. Again, at a very basic level, this tells us the sales velocity basically. And then this pink is going to be the new buy box. And then this used is going to be the very lowest used price. At a basic level, that like if you just did that, like that would help a lot. Do you guys have any other thoughts?
No,
I mean there's a lot more
it.
to it, but at like a very simple level, that's more or less how it is. Like you can usually when there's a drop in sales rank, that means a sale or multiple sales have occurred. And yeah, seeing the buy box price is really useful too, so you can see like what price it's going for and what price more or less it's selling at. I think beginners should look at the offers tab.
So that's
because
in data.
Yeah, data and then
offers.
And then when you're looking at this as a complete beginner, you want to make sure you hit include historical offers. And what this does, it's really similar to the eBay sold comps. What Seth just did, he turned off the used, so now we're only looking at the new. And this page isn't like 100% correct, but it's as on point as a software gets. Out of everything in my experience, so we can see the guy on the top there. I can't really let me zoom in. So yeah, you can see he sold 3 at $319.95 because in that middle column it says 3 sold. So then we know, okay, new condition. He sold 3 of these at that price, and that information is extremely useful. Like if you never sold this item before, because it kind of gives you a little gauge. Also, where you see the stock, like Seth just scrolled over on the little stock history graph. Those little tiny Keepa graphs. Yeah, that's Seth. See how the stock went up to 2, and then it dropped down to 1. Most of the time, that means a sale happens because they were at 2 stock. Somebody bought something, and then they dropped down to 1 stock.
Yeah. And
so that's like extremely useful.
It's definitely a little bit like the sold comps here. Yeah. And so like probably the biggest thing is maybe Cody would disagree, but like I would say the biggest thing is looking at the graph and like the sales rank. I mean,
They're
and
both good.
they're
both
both really good.
I think the difference between like a really great Amazon seller and like a beginner Amazon seller is like looking at more data points. So you
Yeah.
should be looking at the graph and the offer tab, and you could even another way to see if something moves. You can see the volume that it's moving on eBay, and then usually
Yeah.
on Amazon there's a bit more volume. So if you see okay something sold 2 times a month on eBay, uh, there's a very high likelihood that it's going to move a little bit more than 2 times a month on Amazon. I don't know if you guys agree with that, but that's kind of how I've seen it in my experience.
Yeah, if I'm in doubt, I look on eBay at the solds, be like,
Yep.
okay, like it sells some. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Rice flips. I just started the Channel Max trial. I've been thinking about that repricer actually. Scan listers just for listing, no bookkeeping. Nice. But it's a one-time payment, which is nice. Does everybody use Inventory Lab for accounting? I mean, I do.
Yeah.
I don't. I'm in the spreadsheet game, so
Oh man.
yeah, maybe I should switch over. Yeah.
It's a pain switching over, but
Yeah, it will be.
how do you guys determine what to sell FBM right now with the good Black Friday deals? If buy box rotation still goes to FBA sellers, that would be a Cody question. But probably that offers tab, right?
Yeah, in offers tab, I don't know if you could pull it up.
Yeah, I'll pull it up again.
Yeah, like specifically in the offers tab, you can sort out the prime offers. So yeah, hit the FBM only and then check off the prime. So in here in the offers tab, it will show you. So if you see drops in the amount of stock, you're knowing that they're moving. So that guy that Seth just looked at, it's that drop in stock. He moved 1 unit FBM. So there's going to be opportunities with toys where you can see these drops and you'll be like, oh, like there's a toy that I looked at the other day and I'm seeing people moving 20 in a day. So it's just like random things like that are really good for FBM. Just being able to see not the prime offers, but how much you can move doing FBM by looking at that offers tab is extremely valuable. Another thing to look at is the buy box statistics, and if you in Keepa there's a tab where it's buy box statistics, and if you see the people that are FBM, if they're getting the buy box, chances are they're probably getting some sales. That's also another thing. I know it's kind of like a lot of stuff, but
just a reference before we talk briefly about sourcing. So that is right here, this buy box statistics, and so you could do some research about like, are these people mostly FBMing or FBAing?
Yeah, the ones that don't have the FBA check are FBM. Just letting you guys know that are a bit newer to this. If they don't have the check, and so the guy on this listing, that top dude, he's winning 43% of the buy box in the last 30 days, and he's FBM. So that's how you know, like, okay, you could FBM this and probably sell it a good bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, really good stuff.
In Keepa, we trust.
Yes.
Yep.
Dakota, high volume item with a decent amount of offers. What we do need to do is talk a little bit about like how people are actually going to find stuff, because like understanding Keepa is really good. There's a bunch of different ways to get products. You can be like Joji and purchase books online arbitrage. That's a really good way to do it. You can do apparel, you can do grocery, you can do health and beauty, you can do electronics, office supplies. You kind of got to figure out what you want to have and like give a shot to. I feel like Cody and I often say like, just kind of try selling what you're interested in, because like you're going to be able to like not bang your head against the wall for 6 hours and get bored of it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
you're actually going to enjoy doing it.
Yeah, I would agree. I'd say start with a niche that you're already interested in or that you know something about. Because if you already know something about a product, like let's say you're super into sports or you're into athletic wear, and just like you know that these shoes have value because you track them, or like from your own experience, like you know what they come out for retail and you know what the resale is, just because you have an interest in it, then I think you have an advantage when it comes to selling that thing. So you should probably maybe start with something like that.
Yeah. This is a good question from Kevin. Do you ever get thrown off from stock drop for FBA? Because sometimes stock drops equal FC transfer.
Yes, Kevin. It's not, the offers tab is not on point all the time, but like 90+% of the time it's pretty on point. Like me and Seth yesterday were talking about this. I think you said the offers tab said you moved like 30, but you only moved like 20. And I've had that happen before too, where I looked at listings that said I moved like 10, but I only moved like 7. And it's just like any software that tracks this data, there's discrepancies and things are going to be off, but you just have to go off of what you see, really. I mean, that's why you have to be conservative with some of your buys, and the best data is selling the item yourself and
Yeah.
then seeing how it performs. But if you don't have that yet, then just go off the offers tab. I mean, it's really it's the most on point point, like data point that you can go off of out of anything else. I think the graph is really good. I think looking at eBay sold comps is good, but I think the offers tab is the best out of all of them.
All right,
in my
guys.
opinion.
How do we find profitable products? That is
Oh.
the question. Had a listing, said I sold 97. I mean, that does happen sometimes. I kind of view the offers tab as like, this is an indication that these people sold a little bit, they sold a medium amount, they sold a lot. And like 20 or 97, like you can kind of tell they sold a decent amount of something. But yes, sir, I get it.
Cisco's here.
That's why test buys are important. Yes, sir.
Exactly.
Cisco. Yo, Seth, your gain weight too high compared to Cody. What does that mean? What's
Yeah, I don't know what that means either.
But thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. It's I'm glad that is high. Oh, gain on the mic.
Oh,
I don't
maybe
even know
like
how to do that.
one of us is, yeah, I don't know either. One of us is louder than the other.
I should probably like talk away from the mic. That's probably what I should do.
Gotta just eat your mic. But yeah, the profitable product thing. So just a few routes for like any beginners that are like listening to this in the future. If you want to do apparel, you can get on Gated using eBay. If you want to do grocery, which I think is one of the easiest entry points, if you don't want to do books, uh, it's Taco. It's gonna be using like Frontier Co-op to get ungated in grocery, and then immediately go to Walmart and look at things like chocolates, Equate, vitamins, things like that, where you can, you can just start getting this first few sales in. Get the initial dopamine of seeing your orange bars go up, and you're like, okay, we made $50 in sales today. That's crazy. And you just get the ball rolling. What do you think, Joji? What do you think's a good
You know
entry
I'm
point for
biased. I'd
people?
say get started with books, man, because they're just so cheap. I mean, I feel like I tell everyone it's a gateway drug to everything else on Amazon. So I'd say it's super simple, low hanging fruit. You're going to be pretty much automatically ungated in most books, except for textbooks or some textbooks, I should say. And yeah, I just think there's so many books out there, and you can get them for so cheap that it's a great way to understand how to read Keepa charts. And if you make a couple bad buys in the beginning, if you're just doing thrift stores and garage sales and stuff like that, it's like no big deal, you lost $1 because you bought a book because you didn't understand why you shouldn't have bought that book. But if you're going out and buying quantity 10 from Walmart or some other place, and you're buying this thing for $10 each, and then you try to sell it and the listing tanks, then all of a sudden you've lost a lot more capital. So I'd just say, in my opinion, books is a great way to start just because there's less risk, and I think there's a lot you can learn in a short period of time.
That's what's up. And they're everywhere. I love that you made like a reel. You were literally going to go do your laundry,
Yeah.
and then there was just like a stack of books that you made like $40 or something on. And I
Yeah.
was like, that's
Yeah.
insane.
That's
It's
funny.
just laying there,
Just laying there. Yep. That was a
Love
great
free
deal.
books. I love free books.
That was free laundry for a year. So that's good.
Wow. I love when the estimated sales per month is 100, but everyone is hiding their stock. I don't even know how to hide my stock, or I don't think I necessarily care to either. But I mean, if you can see that a ton of people have a ton of stock, that is definitely more competitive listing, that's for sure. So if you see that there's a ton of people like pretty deep, like maybe buy less, you know?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I would for that I'd look at buy box statistics and see if the people that like only have a few stock are ever getting the buy box. So that kind of lets you know if you'll be able to get it.
Yep.
Max order quantity, hide stock. Oh, okay. That would be. I've never
Yeah.
actually turned that on.
Yeah, I didn't even know about that.
Yeah, I think I knew that it was there, but I don't know. I haven't had problems people just like purchasing stuff and like canceling it. Checkmate Flips just got introduced to your work this week. You're doing a well done job. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Good to have you on here. First time seeing you in the stream, and we have a lot coming up. So it's good to have you here. I appreciate it. Cisco saying it's useful when on your replens for sure, but just one-off's not worth the 5 seconds. Oh, you have to set it for every single one. Oh gosh. No, thank you. Joji's like, yes, please buy my one book.
I don't need a high stock quantity. It's always one.
Right. OA books, it's kind of like that.
Yeah,
or the
it's
high
kinda
ASP
one-off.
stuff too.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, there are times when I go like, 3, 4, 5. I'd say I go 5 books max, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Set order limits. People be fake ordering my stuff. I mean, it probably happens. I probably just like, whatever. I just don't notice it.
That happens a lot with some higher end items that you're merchant fulfilling. They'll specifically target you and they'll order your stuff, like get it into pending, so you get off the listing and then they get the buy box.
That's so annoying.
I know. It's
They
I was like,
probably do that on your
these
like.
black hat dudes, like, come on.
Hey, man, all is fair in love and war. Or love
Yeah,
and
I guess
Amazon,
so.
You got to use whatever strategy you can to get the buy box these days, right?
Oh no.
Also
No.
helpful with small and light since you buy in bulk. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Because then they could just do that tactic and you're suddenly gone. But I don't think it's the biggest deal, thankfully. There's like a lot of things that you can do to like make Amazon a little bit more efficient or better, but they're not like the thing that you need to worry about month one Amazon, you know?
Yep.
Small and light, $12 in January. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I saw your post about that, Cody.
Yeah. It's gonna be wild.
Yeah, I mean, 10 was already a lot, I thought.
Yeah. That like the amount, like I just love that because the barrier to entry for new people is gonna be, it's just gonna be easier for them because with small and light you can get 70-80% ROIs like fairly easily. So yeah, it's just gonna be awesome for people that don't have a lot of capital to start compounding their money.
Who is time for the hide stock max order? It probably matters on like stuff you're super deep on, but besides that, I sort of agree.
Yeah.
Cisco, go to Miami. I feel like I heard that you weren't, but you should. I'm definitely going to be there. A lot of people will be there. Met a ton of people last year. It was a good time. But yeah, small and light's going to be nuts. Yeah, I would kind of agree with Joji. Like if you can get stuff for cheap and get like a bunch of reps in, even if it's Walmart like cough drops or like Walmart like something like really cheap, or books or thrift stores or something, like you can make 100 purchases and like get feedback on those 100 purchases rather than like purchasing like Jordans or something.
Yeah.
And
you spend like 1/100 of the money, you know? You're
right,
spending
which
like
is
$1.
how you can get all those reps in.
Yeah.
Yeah, just bottom line, there's gonna be a learning curve. So in my opinion, it's best to do that on lower risk items at the start. And then once you kind of understand how to not buy bad things, then you can understand how to buy good things. And then you can go from there.
Right. Cisco's going to Disney in Vegas in February. We'll have fun. I hope that's fun. It should be fun, I think. Only people who buy 1K Nike socks hide stock. Yeah, exactly. No, but I bet they do. Did I go to Ecuador already, Seth? No, we did not go to Ecuador. We were thinking about going to Peru. We are on the fence about whether we're gonna go. I think we're gonna change and go to either Thailand or Costa Rica. So that'll be fun. Seeing Vegas, Cisco. How do people be getting socks OA cheap enough? Or they just don't have a margin. But that's a topic for another.
Yeah, it's they pump the orange bars. I've looked in the other night. I found some all right sources of socks, and it really just seems like unless like if you're paying sales, like the margins are so thin now. Back in like 2020, 2021, the margins were a little bit higher, but now there's just so many people on the listings, things like that. Unless you're doing some funny business and not getting them, like buying authentic socks, you're only making like maybe $1 or $2 on the socks. A lot of
Or you
people
just
just
like
loop it for
sell the
Kohl's
highest
cash.
price. You could also like not sell at the lowest price and just like wait until it goes up to the highest price, and then you're making like $2-3 profit, but then you're just moving socks slower.
Yeah, I mean it could be that too. It really just depends.
Yeah, it's some business. Setting dinner reservations soon for Vegas. Include you in the party. This guy got a whole party. But yeah, thank you guys for hopping on.
Yep.
Hopefully this was helpful getting started with Amazon FBA. Kind of the main things: get an Amazon seller account going, keep as worth it, like at least look at the sales rank in the buy box. And there's a bunch of different ways you can source. Just try and do something that's low risk at the start and get some reps in, and you'll do great. But
Yep.
yeah, thank you guys so much for hopping on. Echo, you got anything to say?
Yeah, so I have one last thing. There's this really cool software that's coming out right now. It's in beta, and I just linked in the description, or I mean, really just in the live chat. You just copy the link. You go to my Instagram. It's like my most recent post on my Instagram. The next 30 minutes, there's like a raffle, and I'm giving out a key, and it's a beta key for the software. I've been using it for the past week. It's super useful. Basically, what it does, just like sum it up really quick, is you input somebody's storefront, and then it tells you all the new ASINs they added. So that's extremely useful if you find another OA seller. So if you guys want a chance to win that, you have to do a few things on my Instagram. Just look at the post, and I'll be giving out different keys, things like that. I've been talking to the dev about the software. I really like it. So yeah, definitely go look at that.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for coming on. Check out both of their YouTube channels as well, and we will see you tomorrow. Take care, guys.
Later.